Hello. Let me let my friends know I'm up. Let me make sure that I'm showing up correctly online. Doesn't seem like it's updated yet. I'm gonna do YouTube because I need to pull out music. I could do YouTube, I could do my personal playlist. Either or will do. I didn't consider that till just now that I want music. Shit. Thanks, Azu. I thought it would be sort of comical and people would be like, what is this stream? But, so what music would go well with like Journey to the Center? There probably some like vague fantasy stuff, but the thing is like it's not even in that setting yet. At the beginning of the book I read a little bit of in the past, and it doesn't start with the fantasy setting. It's pretty different. So maybe I might do like something. Let's see. Let's look up 1800s music. Romantic age classical music. So the problem with YouTube videos is they're like heavily copyrighted. But like, I don't think anyone cares, right? Hopefully, at least not on Twitch. Or if I upload it as a YouTube VOD, hopefully nobody cares. Guess I have to check my other video. I'm just gonna do this. Alright, and then I have to turn this way down. That's too low, maybe. How about that? Yeah, YouTube won't give a shit. They didn't for Goosebumps, so. How's that for music? I think it's probably good, right? I think that's good. It says copyrighted, but support Halidon Music. 2 million subscribers. That's kind of the point, Sanfu. I think you're supposed to barely hear the music, Sanfu, because you're supposed to listen to me talk about the book or whatever. So this is just Chopin, Schumann, Liszt, Mendelssohn. I know like Brahms, yeah, like all these are just good pianists. 4 hours of it, so we should have enough. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about what we're actually doing before I actually start. Because it sort of matters, like a little bit. Let me also move the content. So, I have a tea with me, a comically oversized cup. I have a bunch of just crackers, which I probably should mute myself whenever I eat them. And I got a physical copy. This is a real copy of the book, Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, right? And I picked the cover to show you on the screen that is like on my physical copy of the book. I don't remember, I think it was a gift from my mom. And I got this book maybe like 8 years ago or something. Like I was really young, I was like 12. And she told me to read it. And I didn't read it. But what I did was I eventually, like 2 years ago, somebody I was reading the book to for like 20 pages, 30 pages. And then I just stopped because that person was kind of weird. Let me turn up the music a bit. So yeah, I just stopped reading the book to them. And now I want to do it again because I was actually enjoying the book a lot when I was reading it to them. I was surprised by how good it was. While I'm reading this, keep in mind this was written in, or it was published. I don't know how long it took to write, but it was published in 1864 in Paris. So quite an old book. And Yeah, you know, the English translation is like a year later. But, or at least the one that I'm reading right now. I'm not going to read the introduction. Fuck that. No context needed for this lovely book. Oh yeah, Lindenbrock, right. Any questions before I begin today, class? Crackers. All right. God, there's still crackers in my mouth. Oh yeah, I will. Sometimes I have chat open, so like I might lament over chat sometimes, but I do want to try reading through this too. Is the other thing I'll mention. So maybe don't make a bunch of poop jokes. On the 24th of May, 1863, which was a Sunday, my uncle, Professor Lindenbrock, came rushing back towards his little house, number 19 number 19 Königstrasse, one of the oldest streets in the old quarter of Hamburg. Martha must have thought she was very behind him, for the dinner was only just beginning to sizzle on the kitchen stove. Well, I said to myself, if my uncle's hungry, he'll make a dreadful fuzz, for he's the most impatient of men. Professor Lindenbrock here already, cried poor Martha in astonishment, half opening the dining room door. Yes, Martha, but don't worry if the dinner isn't cooked, because it isn't 2 o'clock yet. St. Michael's clock has only just struck 1:30. Then why is Professor Lindenbrock coming home? He'll probably tell us himself. Here he is. I'm off, Mr. Axel. You'll get him to see reason, won't you? And our good Martha went back to her culinary laboratory. I was left alone. But as for getting the most irascible of professors... What word is that? Irascible of professors to see reason. That was a task beyond a man of my rather undecided character. I guess, given that you've only been here for 1 1/5 of a page, yeah. So I was getting ready to beat a prudent retreat to my little room upstairs when the street door creaked. Okay, this is too loud. Creaked on its hinges, heavy footsteps shook the wooden staircase, and the master of the house, passing through the dining room, rushed straight into his study. But on his way, he found time to fling his stick with the nutcracker head into a corner, his broad-brimmed hat onto the table, and these emphatic words at his nephew. Axel, follow me. Before I had time to move, the professor called to me again in an impatient voice. Well, haven't you got there yet? I rushed into my formidable master's study. Otto Lindenbrock was not, I admit, a bad man. But, unless he changes in the most unlikely ways, he will end up as a terrible eccentric. He was a professor at the Jaina and gave a course of lectures on mineralogy, during every one of these which he lost his temper once or twice. Not that he cared whether his pupils attended regularly, listened attentively, or were successful later. These little matters interested him only very slightly. His teaching was what the German philosophers would call subjective. That is to say, it was intended for himself and not for others. He was a selfish scholar, a well of science whose pulley creaked when he intended to draw anything out of it. In short, he was a miser. There are quite a few professors like that in Germany. Unfortunately for him, my uncle had difficulty in speaking fluently, not so much at home as in public, and this is a regrettable defect in an orator. Indeed, in his lectures at the Jaina, the professor would often stop short, struggling with a recalcitrant word which refused to slip between his lips. One of those words which resist, swell up, and finally come out in the rather unscientific form of a swear word. This is what always sent him into a rage. Now, in mineralogy, there are a great many barbarous terms, half Greek and half Latin, which are difficult to pronounce and would take the skin off of any poet's lips. I don't want to say a word against that science, far from it. But when one finds himself in the presence of rhombohedron crystals, reticenophallic resins, gelholinites, fangasites, molybdenites, tungstates of manganese, and titanite of zirconium, the nimblest tongue may be forgiven for slipping. That's to put in there just for people like me to really hate, that one paragraph. This pardonable infirmity of my uncle's was well known in the town, and unfair advantage was taken of it. The students waited for the dangerous passages when he lost his temper, and then burst out laughing, which is not in good taste, even in Germany. And if there was always a large audience at the Lindenbrock lectures, a great many of those present undoubtedly came with the chief object of amusing themselves at the spectacle of the professor's rages. However that may be, my uncle, as I have said before, and cannot repeat too often, was a true scholar. Although he sometimes broke his specimens by handling them too roughly, he combined the genius of the geologist with the eye of the mineralogist. With his hammer, his steel pointer, his magnetic needle, his blowpipe, and his bottle of nitric acid, he was forced to be reckoned with. From the fracture appearance, hardness, fuzzability, sound, and smell, and taste, of any given material, or mineral, he could unhesitatingly class it in its proper place among the 600 species known to modern science. The name of Lindenbrock was accordingly mentioned in tones of respect in all colleges and learned societies. Humphrey Davis, Humboldt, Captain Franklin, and General Sabine never failed to call on him when passing through Hamburg, and Becquerel, Abel, Mann, Brewster, Dumas, Milnel Edwards, and Saint Clair de Velle frequently consulted him about the most difficult problems in chemistry. I know this sounds like pretty dry so far, just stick with me, Sanfu and Azu, if you're still here. The science was indebted to him for some remarkable discoveries, and in 1853, a treatise on transcendental crystallography by Professor Otto Lindenbrock had appeared at Leipzig. An imposing volume with plates, which however failed to cover its expenses. Over and above this, I should add that my uncle was the curator of the Mineralogical Museum founded by Mr. Sturv, the Russian ambassador, a valuable collection known all over Europe. This, then, was the gentleman who was calling me so impatiently. Picture to yourself a tall, thin man, in excellent health, and with a fair, youthful complexion which took off a good 10 of his 50 years. His big eyes were constantly rolling behind his spectacles. A long, thin nose looked like the blade of a knife. Mischievous students, indeed, asserted that it was magnetized and attracted iron fillings. This was sheer calumny, attracted nothing but snuff, although that in great abundance. When I add that my uncle took mathematical strides 3 feet long, and that was, as he walked along he kept his feet tightly clenched, a sure sign of an impetuous temperament, you will know him well enough not to hanker after his company. He lived in his own house in the Königstrasse, a building which was half brick and half wood, with an indented gable. It overlooked one of those winding canals which intersect in the middle of the oldest quarter of Hamburg, where the Great Fire of 1842 mercifully spared. It is true that the old house was not exactly perpendicular, and budged out a little towards the street, Its roof was slightly askew, like the cap over the ear of a Tungan-bund student, and the balance of its lines left something to be desired. But, all considering, it stood firm, thanks to an old elm which was solidly embedded in the facade and which in spring used to pass its young sprays through the window panes. 1 second. My uncle was fairly well off for a German professor. The house belonged to him, both the building and its current contents. The latter including his goddaughter Groben, a 17-year-old native of the Verlande, our good Martha, and myself. In my dual capacity of nephew and orphan, I became his laboratory assistant. I must admit that I took to geology enthusiastically. I had the blood of a mineralogist in my veins, and I never felt bored in the company of my precious pebbles. All in all, life was happy enough in that little house in the Königstrasse, in spite of my master's fits of temper. For although he was rather brusque with me, he was fond of me all the same. But the man was incapable of waiting, and was always in a great hurry than nature. In April, after he had planted seedlings of Mignonette or Convolvulus in the earthenware pots in his drawing room, he would go regularly every morning and pull them by the leaves to make them grow faster. He was such an eccentric character. Obedience is the only course to adopt. I therefore rushed into his study. It's chapter 1. Chapter 2, The Strange Parchment. That study was of his regular museum. Specimens of everything in the mineral world were to be found there, labeled with meticulous exactitude and arrangement in the 3 great classes of inflammable, metallic, and lithoid minerals. How well I knew them, those knickknacks of mineralogical science. How often, instead of furthering my time with boys of my own age, I had enjoyed myself dusting those specimens of graphite, anthracite, coal, lignite, and peat, and those examples of bitumen, of resin, of organic salts which had to be protected in the smallest speck of dust, and those metals from iron to gold, whose relative value was ignored in view of the absolute quality of scientific specimens. And all those stones would have been enough to rebuild the whole Königstrasse house, and even add a splendid room which would have suited me admirably. But as I went into my study, my room was not on these matters. My thoughts were entirely occupied by my uncle. He was ensconced in his big Uritic velvet armchair, and was holding a book which he was considering with the profoundest admiration. "What a book!" he was saying. This exclamation reminded me that Professor Lindenbrock was also a bibliomaniac in his spare time, but a book that had no value in his eyes, unless it was unique or, at the very least, unreadable. "Well," he said, "can't you say what it is? It's a priceless treasure that I found this morning, rummaging about in the Jew Helvela's bookshop." "Splendid," I replied, with forced enthusiasm. After all, why all this excitement about an old quarto volume whose covers seemed to be made of coarse calf, a yellowish book with a faded seal hanging from it? But for all that, Professor went on in uttering admiration and exclamations. "Look," he said, asking and answering his own questions. "Isn't it beautiful? Yes, it's splendid. And what a binding! Does it open easily? Yes, and it stays open at any page you like. But does it close well? Yes, for the binding and the leaves form a compact whole, with no gaps or openings anywhere. And look at the back, which doesn't show a single crack after 700 years. Now there's a binding but Bozerian, Kloss, or Purgold would have been proud of." While saying all this, my uncle kept opening and shutting the old book. I could do no less than ask him about its contents, although as a matter of fact they did not interest me in the slightest. "And what is the title of this wonderful work?" I asked, with an eagerness that which was too great not to be specious. "This work," replied my uncle with an increasing excitement, "is the Hems Kringla of Snorro Turleson, the famous Icelandic writer of the 12th century. It is the chronicle of the Norwegian princes who ruled over Iceland." "Really?" I cried out as heartily as I could. "I suppose this is a translation?" "What?" roared the professor. "What would I be doing with a translation? This is the real work in Icelandic. What magnificent language, which was rich and simple and allows an infinite variety of grammatical combinations and verbal modifications. Like German, I suggested, not altogether unhappily. Yes, replied my uncle, shrugging his shoulders. Not to mention the fact that Icelandic has 3 genders, like Greek, and declines proper nouns like Latin. That caught me off guard. 3 genders, like Greek. Hi, Azu. I said, slightly shaken at my indifference. And is the type good? Type? Who said anything about type, you wretched boy? Type indeed. Ah, you think it's a printed book, do you? It's a manuscript, you idiot. A runic manuscript. Runic? Yes. I suppose you want me to explain what that means? Of course not, I replied to myself in an injured voice. But my uncle took no notice and told me against my will a good many things I was not particularly interested in learning. The runes, he said, were letters of an alphabet used in Iceland in olden times, and legend has it that they were invented by Odin himself. Look at them, irrelevant boy, and admire these characters sprung from a god's imagination. Not knowing what to say, I was going to prostrate myself before the book, a sponge which must have given pleasure to gods as well as to kings, for it has the advantage it was never causing them any embarrassment, when a little incident occurred which changed the course of the conversation. This was the appearance of a dirty piece of parchment which slipped out of the book and fell on the floor. My uncle pounced upon this fragment with understandable eagerness. An old document enclosed, perhaps since immemorial time, between the pages of an old book, was bound to have immeasurable value in his eyes. "What's this?" he cried. And at the time, he carefully unfolded on his table a piece of parchment, 5 inches by 3, containing a few lines of unintelligible characters. I reproduce them here in exact facsimile. I consider it important to publish these strange signs, for they led Professor Lindenbrock and his nephew to undertake the strangest expedition of the 19th century. And just like imagine like really ugly looking like runic characters, and there is 6 per row on average, and they are 7 columns. No, 7 rows. 7 rows and like about 6 per row, and there's 3 groups of them. From left, middle, right. Okay. That's hard to understand. No matter. The professor considered this series of characters for a few moments then, raising his spectacles. He said, "These are runic letters. They are absolutely identical with those in Snorro Turleson's manuscript. But what on earth do they mean?" Since runic letters struck me as something invented by scholars to mystify the unfortunate world, I was not sorry to see my uncle could not make head or tail of them. At least that was what I supposed from his fingers, which had begun to twitch terribly. "And yet it must be old Icelandic," he muttered between his teeth. And Professor Lindenbrock must have known, for he was reputed to be a regular polyglot. Not that he could speak fluently in all the 2,000 languages and 4,000 dialects used on the earth, but at least he was familiar with a good many of them. Faced with his difficulty, he was obviously going to lose his temper, and I was steeling myself for a violent scene with the little clock on the mantelpiece struck 2. At that moment, Martha opened the study door, saying, "The soup is ready." "To hell with the soup," cried my uncle, "and her that made it, and them that drink it." Martha took to her heel. I ran after her and scarcely knew how I got there, and I found myself sitting in the usual place in the dining room. I waited for a few minutes. There was no sign of the professor. It was the first time, to my knowledge, that he had missed his dinner. And what a dinner it was! Parsley soup, a ham omelet seasoned with sorrel, a veal with prune sauce, and for dessert, sugared prawns, the whole accompanied by an excellent Moselle wine. When I first read this story to that girl, when it said sugared prawns, I like had to do a double take, and I was like, wait, what? It still gets me. All this my uncle was going to miss on account of a scrap of old parchment. Naturally, as a devoted nephew, I consider it my duty to eat it for him as well as for myself, and I carried out this duty conscientiously. Yum. "I've never known such a thing," said Martha. "Professor Lindenbrock not at the table? Unbelievable, isn't it?" I mean, something's going... Serious is gonna happen, said the old servant, wagging her head. That was not the main narrator. Okay. In my opinion, it meant nothing at all, except perhaps a dreadful scene when my uncle found that his dinner had been eaten. I had come to my last prawn, my sugared prawn, yum yum, when a stentorian voice tore me away from the pleasures of dessert. With one bound, I went from the dining room to the study. Man, transitions are hard, huh? You just like go start the next chapter by saying, or like end the chapter and go into the next one by saying, and so I went to the other room. It's like very comic booky. I don't know. It's definitely runic, said the professor, frowning. Oh yeah, this chapter is called My Uncle is Baffled. It's definitely runic, said the professor, frowning. But there is a secret to it which I mean to discover, or else. Sit down here, he said, extending his fist towards the table, and get ready to write. In an instant, I was ready. Now, I'm going to dictate to you the letters of our alphabet which correspond to these Icelandic characters. We shall see what it gives us, but by St. Michael, be careful not to make a mistake. The dictation began. I was as careful as I could be. The letters were called out one after another, and together they formed this incomprehensible succession of words. I'll read like 4 of them. McReynolds, Ezreal, Sikjid, Untief, Nickduril, Atrest. Okay, that's all you get. When I had finished, my uncle snatched up the paper upon which I had been writing and examined it closely for a long time. What does it mean, he said. He kept repeating maniacally. Upon matter, I could have not told him. In any case, he was not asking me, and he went on talking to himself. It's that what they call a cryptogram, he said, in which the sense is concealed by a deliberate jumbling of the letters, which would make an unintelligible sentence if they were correctly arranged. To think that I may have here the clue to some great discovery. For my part, I thought there was absolutely nothing there, but I prudently kept my opinion to myself. Then the professor took the book and the parchment and compared them. They aren't in the same handwriting, he said. The cryptogram is of the later date than the book, and I can see indisputable proof of that right at the beginning. The first letter is a double M, the letter you would look in for Vane in Turleson's book, for it was only added to the Icelandic alphabet in the 14th century, so there are at least 200 years between the book and the document. That, I admit, struck me as a logical conclusion. I am therefore led to drink, continued my uncle, that one of the owners of this book wrote these mysterious letters. But who the devil is that owner? Wouldn't he had written his name somewhere on the manuscript? My uncle raised his spectacles, picked up a powerful magnifying glass, and carefully examined the first pages of the book. On the back of the second page, the one bearing the subtitle, he noticed a sort of stain which looked like a blot of ink. However, looking at it closely, he made out a few half-obliterated letters. My uncle realized that this was the interesting point, and he labored at the stain until, with the help of his magnifying glass, he ended up by distinguishing the following runic characters, which he read out without hesitation. And it's like 4 letters in runic and then like 10 in runic. Arnold Skashum, he cried triumphantly. Why, that's a name, and what is more an Icelandic name that of a famous alchemist of the 16th century. I looked at Malcolm with a certain admiration. Those alchemists, he went on, Avicenna, Bacon, Lully, Paracelsus, were the real scientists, and indeed the only scientists of their time. They made the most astonishing discoveries. Why shouldn't this Skatsum have concealed some surprising invention behind this incomprehensible cryptogram? That must be it. That is it. The professor's imagination took fire at this idea. No doubt, I replied to venture. But what interest could the scientists have had in hiding a wonderful discovery in this way? What indeed? How should I know? Didn't Galileo do the same about Saturn? Anyway, we'll see. I'm going to discover the secret of this document, and I shall neither eat nor sleep until I have guessed it. Oh, I thought to myself. Nor will you, Axel, he added. Good lord, I thought. It's a good thing I ate 2 dinners today. First of all, said my uncle, you must find the key to the cipher. That ought not to be difficult. At these words, I looked up quickly. My uncle went on talking to himself. Nothing could be easier. In this document, there are 132 letters named namely 79 consonants and 53 vowels. This is roughly the proportion found in southern languages, while northern Indians are infinitely richer in consonants. Consequently, this is written in a southern language. These conclusions struck me as very reasonable. But what language is it? Here I wanted it for a display of learning, but instead my uncle showed himself to be a master of analysis. This Scotsman, he wrote on, was an educated man, so when he was not writing in his mother tongue, he would naturally write in the language commonly used by the educated man in the 16th century, namely Latin. If I am wrong, I can go on to try Spanish, French, Italian, Greek, and Hebrew. But the savants of the 16th century generally wrote in Latin, so that I am entitled to say a priori that this is Latin. I sat up with a jolt. My memories of Latin rose in revolts at the idea that this string of barbarous words could belong to the sweet language of Virgil. Yes, this is Latin, my uncle continued. But Latin in a scrambled form. Well, I thought to myself, if you can unscramble it, uncle, you're a clever man. Let me have a good look at it, he said, picking up the sheet of paper on which I had written. Here was a series of 132 letters in apparent disorder. There are some words consisting of consonants only, like the first, M. Marinals. On others, on the other hand, in which vowels predominate, such as the fifth, Untief, or the last but one, Osibo. Now, this arrangement is obviously not deliberate. It has occurred mathematically in obedience to unknown law, which governed the order of these letters. It seems to me quite certain that the original sentence was written in a regular manner, and afterwards distorted in accordance with a law which we have not yet discovered. Whoever possessed the key to this cipher would be able to read it fluently. But what is that key, Axel? Have you got it? 1 second. And now T. To this question I made no reply, and for a very good reason. My eyes had fallen on a charming picture hanging on the wall, the portrait of Gabin. My uncle's ward was at Altona at the time, staying with one of her female relations, and her absence made me very sad, for, as I can now confess, the pretty Verlandiers and the professor's nephew loved each other with all the patience and tranquility of the German character. We had become engaged, unknown to my uncle, who was so deeply absorbed in geology, to understand such feelings as ours. Graben was a lovely blue-eyed blonde who was rather solemn and serious-minded, but loved me none the less for that. For my part, I adored her, and so the picture of my little Verlandes transferred me in an instant from the world of realities to the dreams and memories. I recalled the faithful companion of my work and my pleasures. Every day she used to help me arrange my uncle's precious specimens. She and I labeled them together. Oh, Graben was an accomplished mineralogist. She could have taught a few things to many a savant. She loved getting to the bottom of abstruse scientific problems. What a pleasant hours we had spent studying together, and how often I envied the lot of those insensible stones, which she had handled with her charming fingers. If I stutter, I'm not stopping. Then, when our recreation time came, time came, we used to go out together, strolling along the shady walks of the Alster and going together to the old tired windmill, which looked so picturesque at the end of the lake. On the way we would chat together, hand in hand, and I would tell her stories which made her laugh. Eventually we'd come to the bank of the Elbe, and after saying goodbyes to the swans gliding about among the big water lilies, we would return to the quay by the steamer. That was where I had got to in my dream when my uncle, thumping the table with his fists, brought me abruptly back to Earth. "Look here," he said. "The first idea which would occur to anybody wanting to mix up the letters in a sentence would be to write the words vertically instead of horizontally." It wouldn't have occurred to me, I thought. "Now let's see how that works. Axel, write down any sentence that comes into your head on this scrap of paper. Only instead of arranging the letters in the usual way, one after another, put them in vertical columns so as to get 5 or 6. I understood what he wanted and immediately wrote the following lines of letters. "Good," said the professor, without reading what I had written. "Now set out those groups of letters in a horizontal line." I obeyed, and obtained the following result. It's like gibberish. "Splendid," said my uncle, scratching the paper out of my hands. "This already looks rather like the old document. The vowels and consonants are grouped in the same haphazard way, and there are even capitals and commas in the middles of the word, just as there are in Scotsman's Parchment." I couldn't help thinking that what he said was extremely ingenious. "Now," my uncle said, looking straight at me, "to read the sentence which you have just written, and with which I am completely unfamiliar, all I need to do is to take the first letter of each word, and then the second letter, and so on." And my uncle, to his great surprise and even more to mine, read out loud, "I love you very much, my dear little Graben." "What's this?" said the professor. Yes, without knowing what I was doing. Silly, lovesick young man that I was. I had written down that compromising sentence. "Ah, so you are in love with Graben," said my uncle, in a suitable voice for a guardian. "Yes, no," I stammered. "So you are in love with Graben," he repeated automatically. "Well, now let's apply my method to the document in question." That's wonderful. Returning to the consideration of observing theory, my uncle had already forgotten my imprudent words. I say imprudent because the savant's learned head was incapable of understanding matters of the heart, but luckily the important matter of the document carried the day. As he got ready to carry out his crucial experiment, Professor Lindenbrock's eyes darted flashes of light through his spectacles. His fingers trembled as he picked up the old parchment. He was deeply moved. At last he gave a loud old cough, and a solemn voice reading out in succession the first letter of each word, then the second, and so on, he dictated the following series to me, which also looks like gibberish. Vekasinrad, Isaac dot Segnerusnith. I must admit that when I came to the end, I felt very excited. These letters, called out one after another, had conveyed no meaning to my mind, but I expected the professor to pronounce a magnificent Latin sentence. To my astonishment, a violent blow from his fist made the table rock on its legs. The ink spurted into the air, and the pen flew out of my hand. "That can't be it!" exclaimed my uncle. "It doesn't make any sense." Then flying across the study like a cannonball and descending the stairs like an avalanche, he rushed out into the cotton strass and disappeared as fast as his legs could carry him. Spooky. Very spooky. Chapter 4. I find the key. "Has he gone?" cried Martha, running out of her kitchen as the street door slammed shut, shaking the whole house. "Yes," I replied. Well and truly gone." "Well, I never! What about his dinner?" asked the old servant. "He won't have any." "And his supper?" "He won't have any." "What?" cried Martha, clasping her hands. "No, Martha, he's not going to eat a thing, and nor is anyone else in this house. Uncle Lindenbrock is going to starve us all until he's succeeded in deciphering an old scrawl, which is absolutely indecipherable." "Goodness gracious! You mean we shall have to starve to death?" I did not dare to admit that, with a man as determined as my uncle. This fate struck me as inevitable. The old servant, seriously alarmed, went back to her kitchen, groaning to herself. Once I was alone, the idea occurred to me of going to tell the story to Graben. But how could I leave the house? The professor might return at any moment. And what if he called me? What if he wanted to go on with this logographic riddle which would have baffled even old Oedipus. And if I failed to answer his call, what might happen then? The wisest thing to do was to remain where I was. As it happened, a mineralogist at Meskin had sent us a collection of siliceous geodes, which had to be classified. I set to work, sorting, labeling, and arranging in their own glass case all these hollow stones, each with a set of little crystals inside it. But this task did not absorb the whole of my attention. The busyness of the old document continued to preoccupy me. My head was throbbing, and I felt overcome by a vague anxiety. I had a presentiment of some imminent catastrophe. After an hour's work, my geodes were all neatly arranged on their respective shelves. I then dropped into the old erect armchair, my head thrown back and my arms dangling. I lifted my long curved pipe, whose bowl was carved in the shape of a reclining naiad, and then amused myself by watching the carbonizing process, which was gradually turning my nif into an egress. Every now and then I pricked up my ears to hear whether anybody was coming upstairs. But no. What could my uncle be at the moment? I imagined him running along beneath the splendid trees lining the Altona Road, gesticulating wildly, changing his stick along the wall, slashing at the grass, decapitating the thistles, and rousing the lonely storks from their sleep. I remember that line from the book. That's like one of the best lines so far. Would he return in triumph or in discouragement? Which of the two would get the upper hand? He or the secret? Asking myself these questions, I picked up the sheet of paper covered with the incomprehensible series of letters I had written down, and I murmured over and over again, what can it possibly mean? I tried grouping these letters together to form words. It was impossible. Whenever I put two together in 2s, 3s, or 5s, or 6s, the result was still unintelligible. It was no clearer when I noticed that the 14th, 15th, and 16th letters made the English word ice, and the 8th, 84th, 85th, and 86th made the word sir, and that in the body of the document and the second and third lines there were the Latin words rota, mutabile, ira, nec, and artra. Hang it, I thought. These last words would seem to suggest my uncle was right about the language the document is written in. And in the fourth line I can see another Latin word, right? Luco, which means the sacred wood. It's true that in the third line there's the word tabulid, which is as Hebrew as it could be, and in the last line the words merc, arc, mira, which are pure French. All of this was enough to drive a fellow mad. 4 different languages in this ridiculous sentence. What connexation could there possibly be between the words ice, sir, anger, cruel, sacred wood, changeable, mother, bow, and sea? The first and last went together quite well. It's not at all surprising that a document written in Iceland there should be mention of a sea of ice. But solving the rest of the cryptograph is quite another matter. As I struggled with this apparently insoluble problem, my brain got heated, my eyes blinked at the sheet of paper, and the 132 letters seemed to float around me, like those silver drops which float in the air about you when you get a rush of blood to your head. I was in the grip of a sort of hallucination. I was stifling, I needed air. Without thinking, I started fanning myself with the sheet of paper so that the back and front came alternating before my eyes. Imagine my surprise then when, in one of these rapidly, fluttering moments, just as the back was turning towards me, I thought I could see some perfectly legible words, Latin words, such as craterem and terrestri. Light suddenly dawned upon me. These few clues were enough to give me a glimpse of the truth. I had found the key to the cipher. To understand the document, it was not even necessary to read it through the paper. It could be read just as it was, just as it had been dictated to me. All the professor's ingenious theories were correct. He had been right about the arrangement of the letters, and right about the language in which the document was written. He had only needed a little something extra in order to read the Latin sentence from beginning to end, and chance had just given me that something. You may imagine how excited I was. My eyes misted over so that I could not see. I had spread the sheet of paper out on the table so that I only had a glance at it to possess its secret. At last I was succeeding in calming down. I forced myself to walk twice around the room in order to settle my nerves, and then I dropped into the huge armchair. Now let's see what it says, I said to myself after taking a deep breath. I bent over to the table and placed my finger on each letter in succession, and, without stopping, without hesitating for a moment, I read out the whole sentence out loud. But what terror and stupefaction it produced. At first, I was absolutely thunderstruck. What I had read just really happened? Had some man had the audacity to penetrate Oh no, I cried, leaping to my feet. My uncle mustn't know about this. It would be the last straw if he got to hear of a journey of this sort. He would want to follow suit and nothing would stop him. He is such a fanatical geologist. He would set off in spite of everything, and he would take me with him, and we should never come back. Never, never. I was in a state of indescribable agitation. No, it shall not be, I declare, and since it is in my power to prevent such an idea from entering my tyrant's head, so shall I shall do so. If he kept turning this document over and over, he might too discover the key, and the only thing to do is I have to destroy it. There was a little fire still burning in the hearth. I picked up not only the sheet of paper, but also scraps and parchment, and with a trembling hand I was about to fling them both into the fire and destroy the dangerous secret, when the study door opened and my uncle appeared. I think it's funny because, like, when you think of, like, Journey to the Center of the Earth as, like, a casual, you're like, oh my god, there's just, like, some like, dude goes with his, like, uncle on, like, a cool adventure. And, like, it's all, like, you know, it's all peachy, right? Like, they're all participated willingly. They all, like, everyone's rational. Nope. Like, the fucking dude was, like, trying to, like, sabotage this entire mission from the get-go. And then his uncle was like, oh, come on, you know, let's do it. Come on, go with me. It's like, no, I don't want to go with you. You're going to kill us. This is stupid. I can't believe this shit. God, it's hard to read books, like, so intensely. How much more do I want to read? Probably at least another chapter. Chapter 5. Hunger defeats me. I only just had time to put the wretched document back on the table. Professor Lindenbrock seemed profoundly preoccupied, as all his self-absorbing ideas was not giving him a moment's respite. He had obviously analyzed the problem carefully and brought all the resources of his imagination to bear on it during the walk, and now he had come home to apply some new combination. Sure enough, he sat down in his armchair and pen in hand started putting down what looked to me like algebraic equations. I followed with my eyes his quivering hand, not missing a single moment. Was he about going to produce some unexpected result? I trembled, but unnecessarily, for since the only true combination had been found, any other line of investigation was doomed to disappoint. For 3 long hours, my uncle worked without a word, without raising his head, rubbing out, beginning again, crossing out, and starting again, hundreds of times. I knew perfectly well that if he was succeeded in arranging the letters in every possible relative order, the sentence would come out. But I also knew that a mere 20 letters can have, let's see here, 2 quintillion, 432 quadrillion, 902 trillion, 800 billion, 176 million, 640,000 different combinations. That's going in the highlights. Now, there are 132 letters in the sentence, and 122 letters produce a number of different combinations running to at least 133 figures, a number almost impossible to enumerate and quite impossible to imagine. Therefore, felt sure that there was no danger of my uncle solving the problem by this heroic method. Meanwhile, time went by, night fell, the noise in the street ceased, my uncle bent over his task, saw nothing, not even Martha opening door, he heard nothing, not even the good woman's voice asking, "Are you going to have any supper tonight, sir?" So poor Martha had to go away unanswered. As for me, resisting it for a while, I overcame by an invincible drowsiness, and I fell asleep on the sofa, while my Uncle Lindenbrock went on calculating and rubbing out. Don't like that phrasing. When I woke the next morning, the indefatigable savant was still at work. His red eyes, his pale complexion, his hair tousled by his feverish hand, and his flushed cheeks revealed what a terrible struggle he was having with the impossible, and what weariness of mind and intellectual turmoil he must have been enduring. I honestly felt sorry for him. In spite of the reproaches I felt entitled to level at him, a certain pity took hold of me. The poor man was so possessed by his idea that he had forgotten to lose his temper. All the forces was concentrated on a single point, and, as their usual outlet was closed, There was ever reason to fear an explosion at any moment. With a single word, I could have loosened the pressure of the iron vice which was squeezing his brain, but I said nothing. Yet I was not cruel by nature. Why then did I remain silent in these circumstances, in my uncle's own best interest? No, no, I said to myself, I will not speak. I know him. He would want to go, and nothing would stop him. He has the volcanic imagination, and he would risk his life to do something no geologist has done. I will remain silent. I will keep the secret which chance has revealed to me. To pass it on would be tantamount to killing Professor Landenbrock. Let him find it out himself if he can. I have no desire to let his death on my conscience one day. Having taken this decision, I folded my arms and waited. I reckon without a little incident which occurred a few hours later. When Martha wanted to leave the house to go to the market, she found the door locked. The big key was gone. Who had taken it out of the lock? Obviously, my uncle must have done so when he had come in the night before from his unexpected walk. Had he done it on purpose? Wait, what did he do? Oh, I guess you lock the house from the inside and you can't open the house door from the inside in this time? That's weird. It's like they need the key to leave the house. Or had it been absent-mindedness on his part? Did he want us to go submit us to the rigors of hunger? That struck me as going rather too far. Could Martha and I really be the victims of a state of affairs which did not concern us in the slightest? We could indeed, for I remember a precedent calculated to alarm us. A few years ago, when my uncle was working on his great mineralogical classification, he had gone 48 hours without eating, and the whole household had been obliged to share in that scientific fast. For my part, I had suffered stomach pains which had anything but amusing for a lad with a healthy appetite. Now it seemed to me that breakfast was going to fail to appear like supper the night before. All the same, I decided to be a hero and not give in to the demands of hunger. Martha took the whole thing very much to heart, and poor woman was greatly distressed. As for me, the impossibility of leaving the house distressed me even more, and for very good reason, at which you can imagine. My uncle went on working, his imagination far away in the ideal world of combinations, and he was living a long way from Earth and quite apart from earthly needs. About midday, the hunger began to have a serious effect on me. Martha, in all innocence, had eaten everything in the larder the night before, so now there was nothing left in the house. Yet I stood firm. I made this a sort of point of honor. 2 o'clock struck. The situation was becoming ridiculous, indeed unbearable. I began to feel really hungry. I started telling myself that I was exaggerating the importance of the document, that my uncle would not believe it, that I would dismiss it as a joke, that if the worst came to the worst he could be forcibly restrained, that finally he might find the key to the cipher himself. In that case I should have fasted in vain. These arguments struck me as excellent, although the day before I would have rejected them indulgently. I even decided that I had been ridiculous to wait so long, and I resolved to tell all. I was considering how to broach the subject in a way that which was not too obvious, when the professor stood up, put on his hat, and got ready to go out. What, were we going to let him leave the house and lock us in again? Never! Uncle, I said. He did not seem to hear me. Uncle Lindenbrock, I said, raising my voice. Yeah, he said, like a man roused from sleep. What about the key? Oh, what about the key? What key? The door to the lock? No, I cried. The key to the document. The professor looked at me over his spectacles. No doubt he saw something odd in my expressions, for he seized me by the arm, and incapable of speaking, questioned me with his eyes. Even so, no question was ever put more clearly. I nodded. He shook his head with a sort of pity, as if he were dealing with a lunatic. I nodded more emphatically. His eyes glistened, and his hand tightened menacingly. This mere conversation in those circumstances would have roused the interest of the most indifferent onlooker. And the fact is that I had really got to the stage where I no longer dared to speak. I was so afraid that my uncle would smother me in his transports of joy. But he became so insistent that I finally compelled to answer. Yes, that key, I said, by chance. What's that you're saying? He exclaimed with indescribable emotion. There, I said, handing him a sheet of paper on which I had written. Read that. But that's meaningless, he answered, crumpling the paper in his hand. Yes, but if you start reading at the beginning, but if you read backwards. Before I had finished the sentence, the professor uttered a cry, or rather more than a cry, a positive roar. Light had suddenly dawned upon him. He was transfigured. Pouncing on the paper with misty eyes and a broken voice, he read the whole document working backwards from the last letter to the first. It reads as follows. And, let me compare this to something I'm curious. Is this really just the thing backwards? That would be kind of embarrassing. But I think it is just literally the thing backwards. Books are hard. You can't just like control F4 or whatever. Indeed, it is just the thing backwards, by the way. So the thing backwards from way earlier when he wrote it all out, and it was gibberish. It's like, in Sneffels Joculus, carterem chem debilat umbra scarterus Juli intra canelenes descende, adas veator et terrestre centrum attinge cod fezi, arnish gasham. Which bad Latin may be translated thus. Descend into the crater of Sneffels over which the shadow of Scarturus falls before the Carlens of July, bold traveler, and you will reach the center of the earth. I have done this. Arne Skatsim. On reading this, my uncle gave a jump as if he had unexpectedly received an electric shock. His courage, his joy, his self-assurance were wonderful to behold. He walked up and down, he held his head in both hands. He moved the chairs around him, he stacked his books in piles, he juggled, incredibly as it may seem, with his precious geodes. At last, his nerves calmed down, and like a man, exhausted by too lavish an expenditure of vital energy, he sank back in his armchair. What time is it? He asked, after a few moments of silence. 3 o'clock, I replied. Is it really? My dinner has gone down quickly. I'm dying of hunger. Let's have something to eat. After that? After that? You can pack my box. What? I exclaimed. And your own, said the pitiless professor, going into the dining room. So, yeah. Obviously, the professor wants to go do the thing that the guy said that he did to go to the center of the earth. Bit of a title drop there. Because the book's called Journey to the Center of the Earth, you see. It's like a cute thing, you know. So, like, this is, like, that's been, like, 5 chapters of just, like, insane character interaction. Just, like, I don't know. This book's kind of fun, honestly. If it continues to be this fun, then, yeah. I haven't read too much farther in this book. Probably no longer than, like, 4 or 5 more chapters. And then after that, it's all blind. Like, I've never read more than that. So that'll be exciting. I think 1 hour of reading is probably good, to be honest. My voice is a little tired now. I don't want to, like, keep stumbling. I think I'm stumbling more than when I started. I did 3-hour reading stream for that one time, but that book was a lot less hard to read. That book was, like, at a 3rd grade the reading level. So yeah, you know, it's a little different. This book has very thorny words that I pronounce wrong, such as stuff from Latin and Iceland and French and German. So yeah. But eventually they're just going to be looking at like fucking dinosaurs or some shit. Who knows what's at the center of the earth. I think if I had to take a wild guess, my lovely audience is taking a nap because I read them to a comfy sleep. I hope so anyway. That's like the best possible outcome of this, I think. It's quite cute. But I think for real, I'm gonna stop this stream for now. Or not stream, maybe just the reading. I don't know if I'll do something else now. Because I don't want to read anymore right now. A little kind of gonna fuck up my voice if I keep that up, you know? So I'm gonna put this book right back on the shelf. Next, Touching Spirit Bear. Remember that book? I'm glad you enjoyed reading it, or, well, listening, dear. That's awesome, Mizu. It was a lot of fun to read that. See, the person I used to read it to, the reason I stopped reading it to them was mostly because they would like fall asleep almost immediately. And then if I stopped trying to read, they'd be like, no. I'd be like, what? Like I don't know. It was less important reading it to one person, especially since they were kind of a bitch. In this case, I would, read it to one audience member or whatever. Yeah, no, it was a shame. But the good news is now I'm reading it to like an actual audience that would like actually enjoy my book. So yeah. Why is my family still awake? Let me turn off the music, maybe. Although, again, I'm not actually sure what I'm doing now. Maybe like a Spire run? Just like the weirdest transition of all Twitch. Kind of feeling Spire. Journey to the peak of the Spire. I gotta call the stream that now, yeah. Alright, well. Next time I read the book, I'm gonna read a different, or I'm gonna play a different music piece too. But yeah, good stream segment. We're gonna do more of that, don't worry, but not today. We're gonna do instead Slay Spire. I think. Oh, I forgot to. Journey to the top, I'm gonna say apex of the spire. No, that's not the term. To the peak of the spire? To the pinnacle of the spire. Is pinnacle like a word you can use to describe spires? Sure. No, I'm just gonna say peak just to be safe. Yeah, like you did. Yeah, I literally forgot you said that. That's amazing. Okay. Now I gotta open Twitch chat in my phone because I didn't have that before. Okay. Shit. I'm glad, Sanfu. Did you enjoy the reading? It was a good book. You missed it. No, I didn't read the entire book. I read 5 chapters. There's like 50-ish chapters, I think. So that's like 1/10 of a book. Not bad. Where is... Oh, my music on my end's low. And on your end. Oh, the game's muted. I think. Yeah. Okay, that should be probably fine. I ended up writing something. I heard not hearing Jaina, so I just clicked in Google and hello, slay the Spire. Okay, Sanfu. Yeah, so as it says. I'm glad you were able to write something, dear. That's awesome. I hope that, yeah, I don't know, I can continue to help promote you writing. That's like just a really good practice in general. You knew that already, but I'm serious, it's good. Okay. Unbelievable. Literally impossible to put my phone up without falling over. This can't be done. Okay. We did Ironclad last time, so it's time for Silent or something. I did the last Ironclad run offline, and it was insane. I will show you the run screen later, I guess. Okay, Azu. Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea. So I get to choose one of these options. Now, there's some spicy stuff here going on for sure. One of these two spicy gain a bunch of gold options. I think 250 gold's probably better, like especially since there might be like a remove event here. And then hope for like a thing. Probably like rest and or upgrade and then 2 elites. This path over here on the right looks fine. Theoretically, you could fight 3 elites without a fire. But that seems sort of difficult, huh? So just take the good path instead, huh? I'm doing this. Now we're gonna hit the enemy repeatedly. Take 2 damage. I think. I've noticed the enemy isn't actually dead yet. That hurts. Fruit juice is like healing, so that's okay. Especially this early. These are bad. Like none of these help. Wow, this is a good store. And then I have another store coming up. Well, shit. The toxic egg is like good shit, so probably just take toxic egg. Orange pellets is cool, but like too early. Can I take like this, and then card remove? Not really, right? It's too expensive. I mean, yeah, the gold bonus helped me afford this thing. That's pretty good. I think removing, I don't know, like deadly poison looks kind of amazing, despite the fact I have a curse, but I guess I have to get rid of my curse, but then I have no damage. Kind of awkward. I'll go to this hallway for more damage, I guess. It's still awkward. But Sanfu. It's not about the boss, it's about the elites too. It's Guardian, I don't know. I'll just take Deadly Poison, fuck it. Who gives a shit? You can't stop me. Acrobatics, even. Acrobatics with a Deadly Poison? Yeah, it's like not even bad. It's a little bad against Gremlin Nob specifically. It's like really bad against Gremlin Nob specifically. I'm gonna do it anyway though, fuck it. See if you can stop me. Oh my god. Literally fucking... We have like a deck that could beat Act 2 right now. And then I don't care what's in this store. Nothing matters. I guess Gamble was probably really good too. Dash was really good too. But like, we got ourselves an Acrobatics on sale, which was better than this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. Our deck is currently very strong. In a good position. I'm gonna rest and then fight several elites probably on this path, just like earlier I said. That is not a lot of health though. I have 40 health kind of, but that's still not a lot of health. Also, I should have... Don't mind me. Sanfu, I don't want to hear it. This way. Okay. If I can. You're a nerd, Sanfu. Anyway. You like block and deal some damage here. Or you draw towards poison. I don't know what's better, to be honest. They both seem good. Just dealing 7 damage or dealing poison. Probably poison's better. What a world. What a world. Okay. Like, sure. This deck's a little zealous for exactly Gremlin, but it's okay. If this goes really bad, I can just go this way and cry. But, I mean, we started with Deadly Poison. How bad could it possibly go? I didn't draw Bouncing Flask, which feels a little awkward. So yeah, like, probably not block here. Stop bullying each other. So that does 17, 16, which is 33 damage. So I need to do 12 damage. So I need to draw like a attack or something. So I will play strike. Okay, well look at what I did correctly that turn. Alright, cool. Oddly smooth stone. Wow. Okay. Sure, let's take a screenshot of this, I guess. Where is it? F12. Okay. Poison Stab is an attack card. Imagine taking a shitty attack card. I have 8 health. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I currently have 8 health. Literally only 8 health. This seems poor. As a result of health being poor, I'm probably going to go this way. Alright, well that helps with the elite over there, maybe. I do think resting is pretty good, especially since all my cards are upgraded. Like, every single card I could possibly want is upgraded. Like, all my cards that are good are... You know what I'm saying? Like, is the stress of what I just said lost on anyone? Or, like, all these cards, you know? Like, okay. I'm actually gonna forego this fire because I think this is a better event to have right now, because like my upgrades are kind of bad. Maybe that's insane. Maybe that's not insane, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, I guess we just take gold and then die sometimes. Sure, I like it. All right, we didn't die yet. This is my oh, I never did actually go look for... Oh, there, because I got Deadly Poison. So this is actually like my second easy hallway, right? No, this is my third easy hallway, I think. Okay. Good talk. Yeah, Azu. Yep, I agree. Alright, so we do need to block twice here. Thankfully this is enough block. And now I can just deadly poison this one. Yeah, the jaw worm was the middle one I remembered. Didn't actually remember what the other one was, but obviously it doesn't matter. This deck's good. Yay. Dodge and roll is pretty good with all these moves down. It becomes just 14 block. 14 block card. Yeah, I think I just take a 14 block card. Like, that's just good, right? Like, that's pretty solid. Going to a store right now is kind of cool. Yeah, I agree, Azu. That's like just a lot of block. Going to a store is pretty cool. How cool is it? I think very cool, because I can remove a strike. It's probably better than the average event. The problem is if I like die to this exact hallway. That would be awkward if I died to this exact hallway though. Maybe I can buy a potion. Yeah, like a exactly fire pot or something. Yeah, I'm feeling happy skipping these relics. So I think what I would do here is, if I can afford it, 150. Oh, it's like 151. Oh, I can exactly afford this, I think. 151. Yeah. Exactly, Azu. Nice gold. This game's dumb. I'm just gonna take another screenshot here real quick. Okay, cool. Now, I don't know why I'm such a scrub. Anyway, I gotta like bouncing flask or something, but also not really. Like I could just block this fight, right? I don't know. Probably some combination of factors, right? Because I don't really want a bouncing flask that costs too much this turn. So yeah, I would do like defend survivor and then strike this one. What happened in Roar General that was funny, Sanfu? What was the haha funny going on today? Sanfu. Sanfu, what was funny? Come on, Sanfu, tell me. Sanfu. I think it's slightly interesting if I'm meant to poison this one. I think since it... I think, yeah. And then maybe lose 0 gold. Can we talk about how the thief is stealing literally 0 gold from me? Can we talk about how I literally have no gold for the thief to take back from whatsoever? I just realized that I have literally 0 gold. And the thief has literally 0 money. Can we talk about that? This is the best day of my life. Literally, the thief has nothing. I'm sorry, I'm really excited by that. It's just one of those things that makes you really happy, you know? Knowing that this thief is a fucking idiot. This thief's a complete moron. I believe you do, Azu. I have no idea, though. Let's find out, shall we? Yeah, you do get gold. Is that the complete reward, though? I'm not actually sure. It doesn't look like it is. Azu, is this the complete reward from killing the dude? That's just brilliant, though. I have to show that run in the victory. Azu, can you remind me? Yeah, can you check? Also, Azu, can you remind me after the run's over to check if... yeah, I thought Tango looked alright too, Sanfu, but... Azu, can you remind me after the run ends to like put a screenshot of the victory screen between the store and the muggers to show that like that happened? Okay. Okay. Well, that was a fun run. Yep. I'd be comedic if I died here, though. No, I have a fire pot. That's like pretty hard, right? That would be pretty funny, though. Anyway. I want to draw, like, poison again. And I did. Okay. And also neutralize. How could that possibly be better, you ask? There is no way for it to be better. It just was good. Yeah, the sand food. This seed's insane. Can we talk about how stupid this seed is? This is the stupidest, like, start to a run I've ever had in my life. This is dumb as shit. I took another screenshot. Like, literally couldn't be dumber. I think I might have been meant to Rayform that last turn even, as stupid as that sounds. But instead I'll do this, I guess. I'm actually not going to draw here so that I can... Yeah, no, like Sandfu, one time I died with like 5 apparitions, Runic Pyramid, when they were Toxic Egged. Yes, Azu, I think it's not halved, so that's hilarious. I really did just rob a mugger of, like, his thing. That's super funny to me. I love that. So, like, this seed's just amazing. You get to rob a mugger if you play it exactly the way I did. That's just so funny. I love it. I did, Sanfu. Yeah, the mugger. I stole the mugger. Didn't steal anything from me, but I took his Wraith form. That's amazing. Oh my god, such a dumb seed. Oh my god, Dex potion though. Pog, dude, Dex potion. Holy shit. 1 second. I'm back? Yeah, I'm back. My mom just told me not to be so loud. Oh, I need my own place one day. But, yeah. I guess I took his smoke bomb too. I took his, his smoke bomb and his ray form. That mugger got robbed. So, like, yeah, good seed. It's like Philosopher's Stone, since I'm invincible for most of the game, I guess. Every elite. Like, how much more prepared can I possibly be? The answer is, like, it's pretty hard to find a way to be more prepared. If I go this way, I can even, you know, remove another card. And that seems pretty good. I don't get I get more hallways though, right? No, it's the same amount. Removing another strike in this deck seems insane. I should probably do that. And the path is the same, but now I heal. Yeah, it seems better. Can we talk about my starter deck here? What a shit deck. What an awful deck. Bag of prep. Yeah, that is a bag of prep. It is a 4 elite path, Sanfu. This deck's about to get really good. I agree, Azu. Nice glass knife plus I played that turn. So, like, your Rayform here, basically. Right. It's a little fucking awkward. It's like extremely awkward. That's like maybe not even good. Shit. Okay, this is like the first hard turn, maybe. What if I just smoke bomb? What if I just smoke bomb? What if I just smoke bomb though? Think about it. And again, Ray form is good. People are like, oh, it's too early to use Ray form, Jaina. You're gonna die, Jaina. Jaina, you're gonna die. You played Ray form too early, Jaina. Jaina, your deck sucks, Jaina. So like, again, like I wish this was like maybe exactly next turn. But this is awkward. That might actually be too slow. Is it too slow with calc? It has 100 health this time. Nah, I should probably just play both poison cards. I have smoke bomb if things go poorly. I know, Azu. Like, it really did just take one fight to get whale. You weren't kidding. I agree, Sandvu. Just take prismatic shard at this point, and then we win. It's like pretty fun. Alright. That might have fucked me over, I guess. That's exciting. Amazing use of that card, by the way. Amazing use of that card, by the way. Okay. Okay. Wow, okay. Uh-huh. Thanks, Azu. I'm really playing myself up today a little bit. I feel like this is actually hard. Probably just deadly poison. And then that's it for poison. Just these 4 poison cards. No, Azu, I think we're quite done with attacks. We never picked up an attack the entire game. Is that true? Yep, we never did. Okay. We took this and then we were like, we know what we're doing. Escape Land's really good. But like, I think I just take deadly poison. Okay, now we remove a strike as predicted, or I take aggro. That's the options that I'm giving. Yeah, Souvenir is kind of an F, but whatever. Acrobatics. Or card remove. I think I just get acrobatics, honestly. I think it's better than card remove for strike, I mean. Unless I'm remembering cards wrong. Right? Does that make sense? I think so. It's a little early, but I think it's right. Another screenshot. This deck just keeps getting better. Weird. This is probably a case where I play Deadly Poison and then calculated. Probably play Newt as well, obviously. It seems dangerous. I should probably just play Reform. Okay, good talk. Let's see. If I acro right now, I get corpse. So I could maybe acro at the end, but then I miss out on corpse. Guaranteed. My last turn of intangible. Uh-huh. I think it's worth trying to get this a little bit faster up, I think. I think it was worth it, Azu. I should have drawn first, though. Alright, well, it seems like what I drawn didn't change my decision. I could have maybe discarded Piercing Whale, actually, to get rid of it. Wait, no, that was probably bad. Right. Overall, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Alright, so this turn we take a little bit of damage from negative decks, but it shouldn't be too bad. Or we don't, depends. Or we don't take damage, naturally. Okay, and then we're fine this turn. Okay. Prepared Plus looks insane as well. Swift Spot or Fire Pot. I think Fire Pot still. It's a lot of damage. Doesn't seem that obvious. I think we saturate my energy pretty well. That's kind of the reason why I'm not thinking Swift Pot. The only issue would be that I sometimes don't draw Reform or something, or like Piercing, and I just take a bunch of damage. Or if I draw Poisons turn 2, but like Reform turn 1, that's fine, usually. Probably. Fire Pot with Corpse Explosion seems like a really powerful little tool, though. Is it better than just having Corpse out? I don't know. Game hard. Like with Swift, I can just draw Corpse reliably instead of like think about Fire Pot with Corpse. And Duplication's insane. I don't think I replace that. So it's probably Swift. Now I have like acro and stuff. Now I have a lot of draw. It's fine. It's fine. That's a curse. That's a bad card. Okay. Alright, so this turn we can like play every draw card in my deck, basically. Or I can just play two, like a... Uh-huh. If I acro here, what would I prefer to play? Okay. Oh, like how about a defensive card? I have a Fire Pot, I guess. What if I wanted that strike? Huh, that's awkward. I think I just have to draw a Reform. I could play Fire Pot and kill this guy, though, also. But then get hit sometimes next turn. I guess I'll take that chance, especially with Piercing Well and all that. I could play this anyway, but if it lands on the wrong things, I'm pretty screwed. It's probably worth just killing both of these immediately. God, it's awful. But then next turn I block with Reform anyways. It's like, what's the point? Oh, that's not true. I kind of want to stall the fight a little bit if possible. This fight's like the hardest fight for this deck, I think, right? So I should probably invest my Fire Potion here. So okay. Slavers is kind of easy for this deck. I'm just going to do this then. I can, again, I want to kill both, though. Was the whole point. So I can do Strike, Newt, Deadly. Let's do that. That feels kind of cozy. I know I didn't weak that guy, but I think that's fine. Because I have Piercing Well and I have so many defensive saturation. And I don't want to draw any of it. Okay, cool. Alright, he didn't attack me as expected. And now I pierce her, you know, card. And then I don't really want Piercing Well, I don't think. So I'm gonna do that. Uh-huh. I took like 1 damage by accident. Okay. Probably could have avoided that. Maybe Sanfu, I don't know. Wow. This deck's dumb. Can we talk about how dumb this deck is? Literally every card's been good. Like, just, like, almost without fail. So, the thing is, like, I think Leg Sweep's the pick here, maybe? Because, like, I already have a lot of poison saturation. But I don't know. Crippling Cloud sure is group weak. And group poison. Wow, this is hard. I think I just take the big block card. I know it seems weird, but I think that's what I do. I'm gonna rest here so that I can fight every single elite, probably. I think a chance to do that's better than the chance of not doing that. Probably. Even with Reform, probably. I don't have any upgrades because every single fucking card in my deck is upgraded. Like literally every single card. So I don't even care if I rest. Like it's fine. Might as well just have no risk. Okay. So yeah, you just bouncing here. You just Leg Sweep here. And then you do nothing. You definitely dodge and roll here. And then play Survivor Defend. I guess. Why risk anything? Hmm. That looks silly, but I guess it was technically better because of Ink Bottle or whatever. But I did have 1 energy left over, I guess. I actually should have played Defend and the other thing. It would have been similar, probably. I don't know. Ink Bottle's weird. I probably don't want Piercing Well this turn. This is why. I kind of want all the other stuff, though. Ooh, maybe I did want it this turn. Ooh, maybe I did, so that I could... That's a big L right there. I'm still gonna do it, though. And I did the thing wrong. Okay, well, guess we get punished. I don't know. If I die, it's my fault. But I'm sort of doubtful. I'm gonna play every poison card in my hand, so that's safe. Or I could just play that instead of that. I'm gonna do that and assume that's enough. Okay, cool. Hey, we're fine. Would have dunked it. Every single card I've taken is Zoo. Every single one of them. That was a really good strike dummy. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Toxic Egg's broken. I'm actually gonna not draw here because if I do I might hit Corpse Explosion. Which means I should not have done the other card earlier. Cool. So I should just defend, neutralize or whatever. That could have also been Corpse Explosion. Ink Bottle's trying to sabotage me this game. I think I'm just gonna defend, strike or something. Okay. I think more block saturation with all my draw I've added is excellent. And this might be it for like blocky type things to add, I don't know. I should probably get a Ray Form this turn, huh? Can we talk about how I've taken 0 damage? Sort of an interesting fun fact about my deck. Honestly, I'm not even gonna corpse probably. It's probably not even worth it. Although it would be pretty free, especially since I'm fighting fucking champ of all enemies. I could smoke bomb, but like, you know, why bother? Okay. Hello, Deadly Poison. Ink Bottle, what the hell? Get it together, ink bottle. There. It might matter, so I'm gonna be careful here. It's the best I can do. Cool, it didn't matter. I agree, Azu. I mean, yes. It just keeps becoming stupider. You don't make this shit up. It just becomes more and more stupid. So anyway, I could probably... This is like 27 damage coming my way. If I leg sweep and I dodge and roll and I dodge and roll, it seems really hard to take that much damage. So I guess I'll do that. I'm actually gonna prioritize hitting this one, I think. Okay. Oh, that, I guess, right. Rayform. Hello, Rayform. I mean, I could just Piercing Will instead, I guess. And then Poison Defend? Guess I should mill. Yeah, I know I have no poison in play currently, but I also have to, like... Yeah. I have to, like, block, probably. I think I'm just gonna play Defend, put out Poison, call it a day. I could also play Defend, calculated for Defend, and call it a day. Or even just calculated for Defend, and call it a day. Sanfu, this is turn 3. I don't know. There's a lot of things I can do here. They all work. Like anything I do works. I mean, like, I'm fighting Champ, so, like, you know. I'm just gonna do this because it's less thinking. I think we probably win now. Oh, I should have killed that, maybe. That's awkward. I'm gonna poison you. Reform. We have a lot of things. I don't need this right now. Okay, so probably dodge and roll. Acro doesn't hit a lot. Okay, cool. Uh-huh. Nasty. Really fucking gross. Oh, here we go. We finally found bad cards. And that's a good point, Azu. I could have proc Ink Bottle up. Alright, I mean, you know. I'm kind of like Smoke Bomb for some reason. I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Screenshot this too. I have to. I have to. There's no way I don't. But what about recall? I gotta recall a zoo. This is such a dilemma. No, you're right. I have to. I have to. Like, there's no way, right? I have to leave this run with completely filled upgrades. Completely filled upgrades. There's no way I don't. Okay. I can't believe it. This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I have no APOF. I have no Mark of the Bloom. Yeah, I hate the fucking crying face too. It's truly unbelievable. We live in a society. How about we do this? Okay, cool. Uh-huh. If I do this and this, I probably win, right? I actually have to, like, think about it, though. So that's, like, 16 poison. It's, like, 32. So that's, like, 96. 97, actually. 97. And then it goes down to, like, 300 and... do I have to get a calculator out? I'm too lazy for this. Hold on. 413 minus 97. 316 minus 96. 220. Which is like an exact split. Which is not ideal. That's really not ideal. Guess I'll wait a little longer. Just in case everything goes horribly wrong. Okay, cool. I still want this card. So I'm gonna get rid of Catalyst. And probably, ooh. Prepared's weird. I don't know. Probably just play these 4 cards in my hand, right? Okay, now my hand's different. Okay. That's true, Azu, but I don't know, I kind of like playing poison there too. You're right though, probably. Alright, I wanted it to be a slightly bigger number too, Azu, was the other thing. Alright, that's fine. 5, 6. So that does block for full. Oh, hello, poison. Uh-huh. Alright, that was a cool fight. I will actually set up Ink Bottle, I guess. Okay. Yeah, Azu, I've noticed that too. Since the beginning of this game, it keeps trying to draw the card. It's really weird. It's time for Alchemize. Not the worst Alchemize ever. It's pretty bad though. I am legitimately giving it some thought about Alchemize, but I think my potion belt's basically locked. Oh dear. Jeez, holy shit. Well, I have a lot of draw cards. But yeah. I think I still do it. It's not actually that much draw. Like, I have a lot of draw, but not like so much that's impossible. Like, Prepared sort of mills Pyramid really well. Calculated mills it really well. Acrobatics is the only awkward one. Okay, so we have to go this way. So that's the way we'll go. I agree, Azu. It would be absolutely stupid. Really dumb card to have right now. Yeah, I don't give a shit about those cards. Cool. Neither do I care about these, I think. We'll get rid of Catalyst, though. It would appear as if I block for full. So yeah, now that I have Corpse, I can just, in Runic, I can just hold Corpse now. If I really want. So I could play like Dodge, Survivor, and then hold Corpse in Ray form. And then that'll be my turn, just playing these two cards. Sure. I think that's good. Oh, and I can play Corpse too, even, right. So on the right one's fine. Probably should do it on this one. Okay, cool. Just gonna play random cards till I achieve the maximum amount of cards for an ink bottle or whatever. This is one of the most broken silent runs I've had in a long time, and I've had a lot of broken silent runs, I think. This is actually worse than taking it currently. Or than not taking it currently. So adrenaline's here. Well laid's not a thing. Finesse is sort of a thing, but not really. Could bottle something. I would certainly bottle prepared? Calculated? Corpse? No. Acro? Probably acro. Yeah, it's acro. If I were to bottle anything. Potion belt's still on the table. So if I buy this right now, this becomes 75. So how much do I actually lose out of this value? Like 30-ish gold value. That's a lot. Anyway, sorry, my brain right now. I need the calculator again. 1 second. Because I'm too lazy for this. 169 plus 75 is 244. My current amount of gold. I need to move this. Is that... So that would mean 194. That would be just too expensive for a card remove. Shit. That's like the thing I wanted to do. Crap. I think I still do it. And then if I don't do the membership card, and I just buy... If I just buy, adrenaline card remove, then that does seem better currently. Membership card in this, that's like 80. So that would be affordable. 80 plus 50. 130. So that would be too expensive. I think the play is probably just like card remove adrenaline or membership card adrenaline. Kind of leaning towards a card remove adrenaline for some reason. Do I have a store coming up? Not really. I have one in Act 4, but I think by then we'll have a lot of money. Dash is here. Okay. Oh, 2 cards, right? Okay. Uh-huh. We don't want corpse and that in the same turn, so we can safely remove one of those. And we probably don't want 2 acros the same turn, just because of the way this works out. Okay. So now I want to play... Bouncing Flask, defend, defend. Seems unnecessarily risky, to be entirely honest. Okay, that seemed better. Now we're gonna get rid of Ascender's Bane. And we're gonna do... like, you know, the whole assortment, the whole shebang. Good deck, by the way. Time to lose health. Just checking that somehow one of these isn't good. Okay. We're gonna... I mean, I wish I took dash too, but... You know the problem with Dash's was that it was not upgraded. Remember, my deck has to be only upgrades in order for it to be a valid run. Okay. So like piercing well here. This deck's insane. I can't say that enough. It's really just really good. That does 19 block or something. I'm just gonna do this. I'm even gonna take 1 damage. I guess I wanted piercing. Well, not really. This is more damage. Do I want the mill, whatever it's called? It's corpse. I definitely do those. I want to draw towards good cards. This is worse than not. Like doing this instead's better. But like it doesn't matter, right? Because I would do 1 damage next turn. Right now it does like 8, so 16. So 87. And that's too big of a gap to ever clear, so I guess I would rather save a health here, lol. So we're gonna actually keep these defends as well, I think. No, that's dumb. You want to draw cards next turn. So we're gonna do this. And play Newt, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not upgraded. The only power in my deck is Rayform. Weird. Yeah, I think the Kunai is really cute. I agree. How many times do you think Kunai is going to go off this run? I think I'm going to guess like 4 right now. Like 3 maybe. After image is not good, maybe? I guess I take it. I don't know. It's not good. It's okay. I guess I do play a lot of prepareds, as you. Yeah. I mean, I could go here and upgrade it. Or recall. I'm gonna recall here. That's true, Izu. Nice ink bottle, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna do Acro for whatever the fuck I want. Probably just piercing will twice though, seems pretty appealing. Wow, that is cards. So this is 15, this is 21. So I can do this to block for full. Could also play after image, paired. Like defend, I guess. I would take like 1 damage here, but I guess that's fine. I guess we take that. I could do acro for neutralize Pog. It's a very Podge moment right there. This does like 30, so this should happen. Okay. Footwork is my like 3rd power I would add. This time it's upgraded. I think it's good. I think having it as a counteraction to the timer is nice here, especially since my deck is so saturated with like block efficiency. I think it's good. Autograph. Whoopee Kaye. I think I just give after image to this idiot. It is a lot of max HP, which is pretty good on the silent. I could also just like give a strike. I kind of want to try this though. I don't know. That's true, Azu. I just think that this doesn't save me 10 health very often. That's true, Sanfu. Convincing argument. Jawworms are hard. It's impossible to win. Jawworms defeat me every time I play Slay the Spiral. How do we beat Jawworm? Asking for a friend. I literally don't know how to beat Jawworm. It's impossible to know how to win against Jawworm. Jawworm is an impossible entity to defeat. I could use Smoke Bomb here. Literally not even a bad idea. Not even metaphorically a bad idea. This is a really beefy silent, by the way. Not usually this thick when you're silent. Yes, I did use that word. Anyway, 6. Nice relaxing broken run here. Bob Ross type moment. Happy broken run. But Jaina, this isn't fair to jawworms. This is discrimination. Jawworms shouldn't be treated this inhumanely. Well, I'm glad you asked. See, jawworms have started a trust fund with Reptomancer Banker, right? They got this thing called the Mob Bank now, right? They're saving up so that they can eventually take over the Spire. Wow. What a good blessing of the Forge. Is it time for Slice? Think about the potential. It could be a good slice, you know. It could be a really nice slice. You'd disown me if I took Slice. Damn, that's pretty severe, Azu. That's pretty mean. Have you considered stopping mean? Could have just poisoned the middle one. I don't know why I'm scared of literally anything. Literally nothing is possible if you're at the moment. I'm just gonna like... What should I even do? I don't even know. Nothing makes sense anymore. I guess blocked like 3 times? Like, I don't know. Alright, we did it. It is fun, I agree, Azu. Piercing Whale, Corpse maybe, or double piercing. If I do double piercing, if I do Corpse, then 25 damage happens to everybody. And then what? Then I have to block for that amount using 1 card, basically. Seems difficult. How about that amount with 1 card? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, Azu, I saw that. That's true, Sanfu. That would be kind of funny though, having 1 unupgraded slice in my run. That would be sort of a haha funny moment right there. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I don't even know. I agree, that's true. Azu, I should stop trying to be a haha funnier human. Like in general. Oh no, looks like we take damage. What shall I ever do? Oh my god. Holy shit. Did you see that? That was weird. That was really odd. Backflips a card. Seems a little late for backflip. Didn't know that was possible. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's necessary either. Maybe. I'll take it. I wanted this event more. That's my excuse. Yeah, this is fine. I'm literally gonna shit myself. Alright, but hear me out. I think Enlightenment's insane. I think Enlightenment's potentially stupid. It's not that stupid. Nah, it's pretty dumb. It's not that good. Alright, good talk. I don't think I'm actually right, Azu. There's like 4 cards on my deck that cost more than 1. Is Deep Breath good? No. Huh. Well, it would be good if I didn't have Runic Pyramid. Might still be good. This is a very moment. Very deck. Like, I have so much stuff, but I guess I could take more stuff. I kind of brick a lot with Pyramid right now. Do I? Not really. Nah, I can do it. Nah, I'm gonna do it. I took Impatience just to say I have Impatience too. I think it's good. It's like a skim for free with a deck that has 4 energy. I don't know. With Runic Pyramid, it's a little awkward, but I still think it's probably worth it. I don't think we've reached the critical mass where like it's impossible to like it. Is Enlightenment good? Let's look at my deck again. I have like exactly 4 cards that work with it, right? That's awkward. But it permanently reduces the cost of them for the rest of combat, so like, right? So how that works? If it doesn't work that way, I'm not picking it. And then Apoth is a huge fucking meme. Just a godlike meme. But I'm not gonna take the meme. I'm sorry, Sanfu. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't do it, Sanfu. Impatience is the meme. Are you happy with the meme of Impatience? Does Impatience make you happy, Sanfu? Alright, well. Can I just win? Like, I don't really want to play the run. Could just play the power. Could also not. I don't know. Probably should play it. Could also not. I don't know. Could save it, I guess. Since it just bricks in my hand for now. Guess I could just play Bouncing Flask. What's prepared? Prepared brings me more cards. Some of which are even good cards. Commune when? Commune when? Okay. It appears this turn I am going to play a bunch of cards. So I should probably start with Footwork, Dodge, and Roll or something along those lines. If I do Deadly Poison with Catalyst, that kills that probably. 14. Will it be 15? It would be exactly lethal. Okay. And so that would save some 7 health or something like that. It would also kill it. I could instead just play Defend like a number of times. I could do 24 plus 7, 33. I'm not gonna play Catalyst though, it seems a bit like a waste, right? So I should probably just play Defend now. Can Prepared, but I don't really want to Prepared that much. Yeah, that seems true, Azu. I should get Corpse Explosion. Okay, well where's my Corpse Explosion then, game? Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up. Oh no. Oh god, the horror. Anyway. Let's get that rid of. Probably, Sanfu. I mean, I could if I want. Anyway, this is 2739. So this blocks for all of it. Hey Dot, thank you for stopping by very briefly. I have probably the most broken run I've seen in a long time. This deck is just, every card is upgraded. Because I have a Skill Egg, and I have Runic Pyramid, Crane, Snecko Skull, Wraith Form. It has everything. Oh yeah, Simplicity happened, which is why everything's upgraded too. Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna do this, and then I can just block like with a big block card, like dodge and roll. Look at Impatience being good, by the way. Amazing. Probably should have just played it. Wow, good Impatience. Really glad I took Impatience. Hey Dot, again I'm glad you stopped in. It's always nice to hear from you. I'm going to... This doesn't draw right now because I have to play a card. I will play Patience. Patience sucks. Good talk. Okay. Prepared can't even bail you out. Yeah. Crazy, Azu. Anyway. This is weekly viewer level night, and it's my favorite stream of the week. Take care, Dot. Have fun. Well, I would just draw cards, but... I should discard that instead, huh? This is why Impatience is good, see? This deck's ridiculous. Actually dumb. I don't know. Like, even against Awakened one's a good showcase, I think, in this case. I don't know. Corpse explosion, deadly. Playing like one corpse here is fine. It's probably worth playing piercing well on this turn. We'll find out though. Like dodge and roll this turn. Does this kill? This does 16. So no. This does 12. I would take a remarkable 2 damage or something. Okay, now I don't take any damage. We're getting rid of that because we're assembling a perfect turn coming up. Perfect turn should consist of these cards. Okay. This is like basically a perfect hand. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry to hear that, Sanfu. Shit. Okay. And time meter or some shit. Okay, cool. Alright, strike is here. This fight I do actually play a number of cards, but I think we're probably fine. So, just, prepared for cards. I should start with macro. Okay. Oh, I should have. Oh, well, I guess. I know, right, Azu? I did remove the starters, except for After Image, I guess, is not really a starter, but you know. Anyway. Time to this. And this card. This card. I think 5 cards is pretty healthy. But I want to draw cards. Oh boy. I'm gonna keep these cards. Yeah, Sanfu, the rhetoric I agree is a little dry. It's not your fault though, I don't blame you. Okay. No, it should probably be Acro, right? You do have other funnies, Sanfu. You're quite the funny human. Funny, happy human fella. Okay, so we're gonna play like Corpse or something. And then dodge and roll and block. Dodge and roll, dodge and roll. And we're gonna play this card. And then take 1 damage because of meal ticket or something. And also the fact we heal anyway. And then just let these cards sit. No, I should probably play Catalyst, right? 39, oh god. 1 second. $39 times 3 plus 1. Okay, and this is going to be subtracted by, so, wait, no, hold on. $389 minus this number, minus 117. This is probably fine. I'm gonna go with it's probably fine. That might actually be useful. Uh-huh. That's not though. Alright, now he's dead. Okay, cool. That's what proficiency in this game looks like though. You just don't take damage. Like, I think the fact I'm just not taking damage is cool. I don't know. I wish I could take that. Gain 2 artifact. Gain 2 artifact though? Are they a zoo? I kind of play them really well. It looked bloated because I was fighting Time Eater. My deck's really good at milling for some reason. And I play just about everything I want to. That's true. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably better than the card remove. Is it? Yeah, I can just smoke bomb. Fuck the Act 4 elites. I'm literally Act 4 smoke bombing them. I don't even want to see them. Anyway, this is like 40. This is like, so this is 120. So I can buy this and that if I want. I probably want Noxious Fumes, obviously. Let's take a Noxious Fumes, huh? Should I take a Noxious Fumes even though I can't upgrade it? Oh, I can't afford it. Damn, that's a shame. Anyway, box. Bouncing Flask looks awesome here. Yep. I like forgot you couldn't do that, actually. I mean, holding Piercing Well seems insane if I can strip Artifact, which I can, so. Anyway, I do actually get to play 2 strikes here. Alright, thanks for the artifact strip, idiot. Now I'm going to play this card and this card. You made fun of impatience on turn 1, Sanfu, remember that? I remember that. Remember when you made fun of impatience on turn 1? I remember that. Look at him now. That's true, Azu. Anyway, I should probably block again, huh? And then maybe another time. I like that. Probably deadly poison in this case though, right? 10, 12, so. That appears to be a big damage on my back. However, it does not matter because I have free form. Also because I can probably block without it. Week is coming up, so I'm gonna just oh god, I wanna play footwork. I wanna play right form. Game hard. Game soups hard. Whatever. Oh. Okay. It's the first damage I've taken, like, all run, basically. Alright, cool. Consecrates here. This does actually die. Okay. Ninja Scroll's actively bad, I think. Right? No, wait. No, it's actually insane with Kunai. What? Wait, really? Wait, really? Oh. Okay. So we got 2 smooth stones now, Azu. Also, we have Burst Plus. Alright, that's a screenshot. And a regen pot. This is insane. Unprecedented levels of stupid this run has been. Unprecedented levels of just silly. Alright, I'm gonna actually play dodge and roll first. And then like backflip and then a bunch of shivs. Alright. These are pretty good this turn, but uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, good acro for more cards. What am I looking for? Just anything. Ray form specifically. Setup, I don't know. This unfortunately overdraws unless I play like block, so I guess I'll do that. And then we'll do this now. Okay. Deadly, deadly, deadly dodge and roll probably instead. I like dodge and roll next turn. Aha, so now we have this consecrate now. And we have a duplication pot and a catalyst and all sorts of fun cards. Wow, we can do a lot this turn. I think we just start by playing the Consecrate on 2 defense, probably. It's a lot of damage on us. How did that happen? Oh, because it's not weak. So we should do it on... Probably not the defense. Probably want to play those. That's awkward. I don't think it matters too much what I do. Maybe I can get rid of that. Corpse Explosion, sort of inefficient. Yeah, it's sort of inefficient. So we're gonna get rid of Corpse Explosion. And we're gonna get rid of... I think 1 defend. Alright, now we're gonna draw cards. Alright, that's okay. Now we're gonna play... Just like... We don't even need Dupe Pot for this, probably, to max out. That is indeed 9 times the poison on whatever I do. So, Bouncing Flasks, Deadly Poison. So it'd be Burst Bouncing. So that's like 32 poison. So that's, you know, 39 poison. And then 39 times 9. That's a big number. Okay, I'm gonna do that then. Okay, and then I'm gonna play this. Even dupe it? No, I want to save that for reform. Okay. Be nice to do all the things. I guess I can just dupe a defend or something. Or I can play a Piercing Well. Right, Piercing Well is a card. Should probably play it then. Alright, GG. Anyway. I don't know why I overthought that. It's maybe a little sleepy for me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that run was complete nonsense. Sender's Bane is not upgraded. Toxic Egg Runic Pyramid is like almost impossible to defeat, but I also had 2 oddly smooth stones. Snecko Skull, Paper Crane, Ink Bottle, an Energy Relic, and just like a deck full of skills that were silent. I don't know. It's quite the Resident Sleeper type run. So I'm going to take a couple screenshots here, just the generic screen, and then this part right here. Wait, where did I get Reform? Oh yeah, here. It was Thugs, okay. Alright, so now that that's taken pictures of, I can post my epic story to our friends on the server. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. How do I, like, save everything without spamming the entire chat? I don't know. Is this thing worthy? Not really, right? It's just like a boring deck. I have no idea if it's thing worthy. Let's see if I can get Steam to show me where the... Yeah, I'll post the thing moment where the thug stole 0 money. I think that was the best moment. That was a really funny moment for me. Hold on. How do I access this again? I go to screenshots, disk. Okay, here we go. Zero gold, fight thug, take a ray from him, take a smoke bomb from him, and he just runs away. Amazing. I think impatience was legitimately good there. By the way. Doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, it's glorious. Oh, I posted the wrong channel. Whoops. I hate when I do that. Where's the strategy and deck building? Oh, there it is. Shit, no, I don't have the... Wait, I copy like a small version of the image? I sure did. That's sweet. I love when that happens. Oh wait, no, now it works. What? Weird. Tea. Yeah. Yeah, Zoom. This run was so unreasonable that, like, I could see you winning in, like, almost any possible way with, like, that decision tree of cards I was given. Like, I don't know. There were so many times I skipped cards that were all good. It was crazy. Ugh. Like, if I had to take Ray form, my run was still stupid, for instance. Because I would have just gotten a well-laid plans. One thing that I think was important in that run, Azu, that might not be super obvious, was when I skipped a membership card so that I could remove a card and take adrenaline. I think that was super important. That was a good decision, I think. I don't blame you. It was kind of a hard decision. I don't think it matters, basically. I think either way was fine. I think the way I did it that way, though, was just in case I bricked early in the game, like in Act 3, somehow. So I think that's why I did it, because like the money matters less and less the more I have, right? And I knew I would have enough to buy a rare card or something by the time I got to Act 4. I guess was my reasoning. Yeah, I did, right? I had enough to buy like 180 worth of stuff, which is enough to buy a rare, I guess. Kind of wish that happens more often. I wish like you could make the looters run away more often. Like you didn't, like it wasn't just like you have one gold, so like you should do it. Azu, do you get a card reward if you let a single mugger run away? In like Act 1? That's like a really specific question. Really? Oh, that's weird. That's super weird. It only works for like one encounter in the entire game. It's super weird. Seifu, holy shit. That's a good copy pasta. Definitely post that to servers and they won't be annoyed, I promise. Looter plus friend or double looter. Oh. Right. I love Heavy's response to the copy pasta. I quote, jacket, Ukalo, jacket, woman coat, jacket, text, jacket, kid, jean, 2018, jacket, Chirpa, jacket, lab jackets for woman 2018, Han Solo, jacket, teddy bear jacket, Jurassic Park jacket, top jackets for woman, baby jacket, jacket, Gasper jackets for woman, knife jacket 2018. Okay. You should make Watcher start with 12 cards. Here's my suggestion. You add Sands of Time in your starter deck. Fuck it. Cute drum jacket thing. Sanfu, if they're still here. I don't know if Sanfu's in chat. Probably, right? Replace the strikes with Sands of Time. I agree, Azu. Just like all of them, replace. Sounds good. Well, it appears that my personality of streaming has completely died. My streamer persona has completely fallen apart. It's now in shambles. I'm going to end the stream, but it was a fun time playing generic silent degenerate deck, and I shall go. But thank you for joining today, everybody here, and more people should click on me in the Discord because I am clearly streaming. But it appears that Jaina is a bimbo at advertising, which is fair. Imagine actually just like shoving your shit all over the place. It's kind of rude. What I need to do, Azu, is I need to make more montages. I need to edit more video more fast. It's just kind of boring, but I think I need to. It sucks, but what can you do? Thankfully, I have a pretty low effort method, but yeah. I imagine a lot of content creators start having like a team, right? They have somebody hired to do the editing, somebody hired to do the recording, you know. But for now, I'm gonna do the editing too. It's just a little lame. Bye.